Alright, yeah, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Residential. We have been able to model this particular 3-bedroom bungalow right from scratch, and we've modeled it up to this level we are looking at the moment. Thank you so much for having joined us from the first part, and you're still joining us. Thank you so much. If this is your first time in our channel, please do well to hit the subscribe button. It helps us to grow, and it will equally help you to grow. You can leave a thumbs up for us in this video. It helps the video to also get much more people who will be needing it just like you are. So we'll just be going straight up to make this particular building much more aesthetically pleasing. So in this part tutorial, we'll be looking at the facade treatment, and we'll be looking at how to make this much more beautiful. So I will be introducing you to another tool in Revit. We'll call that the model in place tool, and then I'll be showing you the different types of model in place tool to use in Autodesk Revit. But before that, we are going to be joining this floor to the walls. As you can see, we don't want to have these lines that are showing in between our walls. This is our floor level, but we don't want it to be showing. So to do that, the only thing you need to do is to make sure that this and the wall underneath and the wall above it are all the same material. If they're the same material, they can easily join. If they are not, they will not join. So this is what I mean. If I click on the floor and go to the edit type, the material here is by category, which means there is no material. Let me get this central. So the material here, the structural material here is in by category, so there is no structural material applied. So I'm just going to edit it, but before I do that, I will always duplicate. Please always do remember to duplicate. Then I can call this floor updated. Then I'm going to hit edit, and then you can see it doesn't have a material, so I'm going to go to by category to select a material for it. So because it's not my first time using this template, I already know the material I used for my wall. I'm just going to quickly type that in here and then allow Revit to show me the material. So there's the material I used for the wall. I'm going to hit OK, apply, then OK. Then suddenly this particular floor becomes the same material. So as you can see, they are the same material. So another thing you also need to note before you use the join tool is that it can only work if the wall above and the wall beneath are actually lying in the same place. So if one is much recessed, it is not going to work out. So we'll go to the modify tab and click the join tool. You can check on multiple join. It helps you to just join everything as quickly as possible. So I'm just going to do this. So as you can see, this part has been joined, so we no longer have that here. So we can also do that here. So we need to click on this, click on the wall above it, and it has joined, so we can see that again, this to the wall above it. So you can just quickly do this. It doesn't take time. It's tedious, yes it is, but that's actually the correct way. You can actually model much better. So this goes out, so I will just do this quickly. Alright, so I've just quickly done that. Just quickly joined all the walls together, so we can see our smooth surface of the smooth surface of our walls. So the first thing I need to be doing, the first thing I'm going to do for my facade, it's also to make this much buildable, is to add to put a capping above my walls. So why do I need a capping? Cappings act as they help to prevent the walls from getting damped from rainfall. So it's going to act as a wall protection basically to the wall. So how do I basically do that? So I'm going to go to one of my elevations to look at my levels once again. Okay, so for this I'm going to go to the roof level, and you can see my underlay is already turned on, so this helps me to look at what I want, but I do not want the underlay on, so I'm going to off this. So basically the capping is going to just run above those walls that are higher, that are hiding the roof basically, so the cappings will run above them. So this is what I want to do. I'll go to architecture, under component here, click this drop down icon, and then click model in place. It's going to show you the family category and parameters. For this I'll just use Casework, so I'll click on it and then I'll click on OK. You can name this anything you want, but you can also leave it as Casework 1 if you decide to, but you can also name it if you want. So I'm just going to click OK. Then for that capping, I'm going to be using an extrusion to create the capping. So I will be showing you how to use most of these tools. So I'm going to be using an extrusion, and then I'm going to be use the pick lines. Then for the offset, I want the offset to be 30 mm out from the wall, both inside and outside. Let me use 50. Okay. Alright, so we'll just pick the boundaries of the walls that we have that is already hiding the roof, that is acting as helping us to achieve the contemporary style of architecture we are looking at here. Please do make sure you're clicking and then picking the outside so that we can have them projecting out. We don't want them to just stay in line with the wall. As you can see, there is a mistake I made there, so we'll come back to that. Alright, so we're done doing that. So I do not need this, so I can click on it and hit D in my keyboard to delete it. TR for trim as the shortcut. Okay. Alright, so we're through with this. So once we hit finish, you can see our casework here. If we go to our elevation, you can see this here, but that's not where we want it, so we'll just click on this. The thickness is quite big, 250 is massive, so let's leave this at 150. Then we're going to use this move to zoom inside this and then take this all up. Uncheck constraints so that you can be able to move up and down. Sorry, we are going to click this to disassociate it from work plane so that we can now easily move it up and down. Alright, so we have created our capping, as you can see here. So we'll add a material to this later on, but let's just keep on modeling what we want to actually achieve. So let me finish this so we can see, you can see the capping right here. So if you change this perhaps to look like an elevation, you're going to see the capping with that little bit of a projection. So it's going to be protecting the wall from rain and drops and all that. So the wall will not get damped. So it's us thinking construction wise here also. So for this front elevation, we just want to quickly do something to make it more cute. For this, I'm going to be using the 150 mm wall. So I'm going to hit WA my keyboard, shortcut for wall. Then I'll hit this drop down icon, use the 150 mm wall I have in my template, set this up to ceiling. I can also change the setting later on. So I'm going to use the same 225 mm wall I already have here, so I'll click on this CS for create similar. Then I'm drawing this from the natural ground level, then I want this to get to the ceiling. Is somewhere here okay by me? Maybe I might want to come inside a little bit. Let me see. DI for dimension is 962, not what I want. I just want this to be 9. Alright, so okay, let me make this 1 meter. Yeah, much better. So I'm going to go to the NGL. I have this wall stopping at 450 above the NGL, which is nice. So CS in my keyboard, then I'm going to have this stopping the DPC level and then get to the ceiling. So I can now run this wall through here and then through here. I can also run it through here. Okay, so hit the escape button, the escape key a few times. So if we go to our 3D, this is what we have. So we'll be using the let's bring this down. Okay, so this is what we want to achieve. As you can see, for the fronts, this side, it means we might not be needing this handrail anymore. Alright, so for this we'll also be needing to also add a cap into it for the wall we just created here, so that the same dampness we talked about will also happen here. So we'll go to the roof level. Sorry, we can't see that from the roof level, so we'll go to the ceiling. Can we see that from the ceiling? Yeah, we can see a little bit of it. So I'm going to click on this casework, then I'm going to edit in place, then I'm going to go to create the same extrusion. So if you notice, I did not go back and start clicking on model in place. It makes you have a whole lot of caseworks, and then at the end of the day it ends up lagging your work. So you can just have every single casework you want to do under one particular casework. It just makes things much easier for you. Okay, so this is just basically what we want. TR to trim, and then we'll just pick this line here. We're going to use the SL2 to split, and then TR again to trim. Alright, so we'll finish this. We'll go to the 3D. You can see what we just did here. It's too big. Remember, we used 150 for the other one, so we'll use 150 here as well, so you can see it. So we've done this at the moment. So you might be wondering, what happens to the opening here? So we didn't consider that. So this is what we'll do. We'll just delete this and this as well. So we hit TR in our keyboard, and then we'll trim this to this. So we just have this. So this went in too much. We just want to bring this out here. Alright. Okay, so this is what we have. Sort of a cap in here. So this is nice. Alright. So we're done? Not really. So we're gonna finish this, then we'll use the same join tool to join this to this, so they join out. We'll also do that here. Alright, so we are going to be using the let's go to the NGL, sorry, DPC. We're going to be using the wall opening to create something here. So we'll go to architecture, and then we'll go to wall, and then we open this up. So we'll click on it. This is 670. Now we want this to be just 700. Alright, we don't know if it's balanced in the center. It is not, so we'll try and even that out a little bit if possible. Might become very hard, but you can actually do that. Okay, I can leave this way. And we'll go to our 3D is what we're gonna have. So I'll just click on this, go back to the DPC level, then I'll try and mirror this to the other side. So you can see this as well. I want to bring this up a little bit. Alright, so this is just what we want to create here. So we want to stay at sort of a framework to this. So we'll go to this, we'll go to the edit in place, we'll still stay at our DPC level. Then we'll create this time around, let me show you how to use sweep. So we'll click on sweep. Sweep will ask you to sketch a path. So when you sketch a path, it is now going to run around that path you've already sketched. So I'm going to use pick lines to just pick a path of where I want the sweep to run at. Now one thing about sweep is that it must not be in closed loop. You can actually have one opening, so but extrusions must be in closed loop. So this is the profile. So if we move this here, if we finish this and then want to edit it, it is going to ask us to do it in any of these elevations right here. That's one thing with sweep. But if we move this and leave it somewhere here and then we finish it and then we select the profile again, it's going to ask us to do it in one of these elevations. So of course I want to do this in the south elevation because that's where I'm modeling whatever I'm modeling. So I just want to do something really small, not that big, right here. So we'll hit the center of this. We might decide to make this 80 mm. This is just like a mortar rendering. Then the projection, let's use 35. Alright, so I've created this this profile. Once I finish this, it changes to black. So this is what I just did. Let me show you. So you said this line, the black line I just clicked on now, that is highlighted in blue, is the part you sketched. Now this other one is the profile. So once you finish this, that particular profile is going to run around that part you've already sketched. So that's how to use sweep in Revit. Alright, so this is what, so we'll disassociate this from work plane so we can be able to move this up a little bit to somewhere here. Alright, so that's one thing we can do. So we are also going to be looking at how to create we'll create kind of a framework for this veranda, for the balcony, sorry. So we'll go to create. For this one I'm going to be using extrusion. It's going to ask us to pick a plane. If you're in an elevation, it's going to ask you to pick a plane so that you pick that particular plane that you want to draw on, and then you can now sketch or what you want to design on it. So I'm going to click this plane. Then I'm going to, before you pick a plane, make sure you have this blue lines in a square. If it's not in a square, it's not going to pick very well. So I'll click that. Then I'm going to go to pick lines. I want to do kind of a framework here. So I'm going to be using the pick line, and then I will pick this. Let me do this in the elevation, in the 3D, sorry. So I'll pick this, then I'll pick this, then I'm going to pick this edge. Then I want this to be 150. Let's see how 150 looks. 150 is okay. We're gonna use TR to trim out. Now this is what I was trying to explain using sweep initially. If I finish this, it's not going to finish because it must be in a closed loop. That's extrusions. Assuming this is sweep, it will close because sweep can allow you to have this and it's still going to work out really well. But extrusions, no, they will not allow you to do that. So we'll click on TR and then we are going to trim this to this. So this is what we want to achieve. If we click finish, you can see the framing right here that we just did. So we want this to also come here and then be able to terminate somewhere here. So this is too big. 100 mm thick is okay. Okay, because it's just motor rendering. So we'll be needing to do this in this part, but coming to do that again there and there, so it's going to take us time. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just copy this, uncheck constraint, and then I'm going to drop this right here. Then I'm going to move it out. Let me use the move tool, move this to this. So if you go to your 3D, this is what we just moved. We don't want it that way, so we are going to rotate this, hit 90 in our keyboard, and then still move this to the wall right here. Go to the 3D. This time around we want to go to the right, click this, and then move this to this. Of course it's projecting more than we want, so we'll just edit extrusion, and then we're going to use the align to click this, and then we'll click this so it aligns. So if you finish, this is what you are going to get. So we'll just use the join tool to join them up so that we'll not have them looking like this. So we'll click on this and click on this so they join out. So it started from here, runs through and terminates at this point, so which is exactly what we want to achieve in this part of the elevation. So little by little we're getting there. We're getting to what we actually want to do with this. So of course we also need a capping right here for this particular place. So we'll go to NGL, and then we are going to still use create, and then we'll use extrusion 50 mm. Okay, so this is what we've done so far. As you can see, we've been able to make the entrance look a little bit better than it would have initially. So we'll finish this. For the handrail right here, I want to do something of this nature. So something like this works for us. So I want to repeat the same thing at these other parts. So this is what I would do. I'm going to go to the NGL, and then I will set this at unconnected, and then make this 450. Then I'm going to maintain the same, and then do this. So I have the same thing I have over here, right over here as well. Now this is why I love grouping the extrusion. So this is just casework 1. So once I select one casework, all of them is highlighted. Then once I edit in place, I can now pick the one I want to work on, this I want to adjust. But if I have them created as casework 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I will be needing to select them one after each other and all that. I don't just like that. So I'll click this. I also need a capping right here, so I'll go to the NGL, and then I'm just going to copy this. So I'm going to copy it right from, what do I need? Okay, right from here to here. So almost the same thing, but I don't have these parts here. Now finish this. If you go to the 3D, you're gonna see this tool right here. So yeah, so that's what we want to do. For the elevation, we are arriving at what we actually want to achieve. So this is more or less what we want to do. So we're not yet done with the extrusions and sweeps and the caseworks. No, we're not. So I'm going to go to the ceiling level. Sorry, to the DPC level. I want to create another type of extrusion. But this is going to be done using sweep. So I'm going to click on sweep, sketch a path, pick lines, and I'm just basically going to pick the edges of my building. I'm looking at a frame that will run around the building. Let me look at something right here. Okay, we can continue with that, then later on I can edit that. So I want to terminate this frame right here. Do I need it at the back? I don't think I do. Alright, so as for this, I'm going to move this very close to the front so that I'm going to see what I want to draw. Alright, so finish this, edit profile, south elevation. So it's quite down here, but this is not where I want it to be, but we'll just draw it here and then we'll edit it later. So I don't want this to be that big, so 200 mm is okay for me by 100 mm. So I'll finish this, disassociate this from work plane, and then I'm going to change, I'm going to move this right from here up to here. Okay, so we need to adjust something here. So I'll click on this, sketch a path. Okay, much better. I shouldn't have ended this right here, so we'll just continue the line. Okay, so I'm going to close this here, TR. I do hope you are learning a lot in this tutorial on using sweeps, caseworks and the rest of them to make your facade much interesting. Okay, so this is just what I want to do. Okay, wanted to check if this can be plastered and painted. Yes, it can. Okay, so basically this is what we've been able to do in the facade of this particular building so far in this part tutorial. I don't want to make the tutorial much longer, but this is what we've been able to do for it. So for this part of this work, before we wrap up, we'll just look at what we'll do about it. So we'll go to extrusion, and then we'll be setting work plane by picking a plane. So we'll pick this plane, then we use pick lines, and then we'll offset what we want to do with our pick lines. We're just clicking the four corners. Then for the offsets, I want to actually do something 500 mm offsets from the window right here. So we'll have 500 mm here, and also down here. Then SL in your keyboard to split this line, then TR to trim it out, then this to this, this to this, this again to this. Okay, so this to this as well. So we'll finish this. So this is what we have, what it looks like. So we'll just be setting it up so we do not make errors. So we'll use the align tool, click this face here and click this face here, so they align to each other, which is what we want. Then we'll look at joining them together. So this is what we will have. So it looks like the frame goes around this way before it continues. So let's appreciate that. Let's look at that here. So this is what we actually have for this. So that's basically what you can actually, and how you can do a whole lot of things in your facade treatments and using Casework, sweeps, and the rest of them. In the next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to apply materials to sweeps, Caseworks in general, be it extrusions or sweeps or the rest of them. Then I will equally be showing you how to use the paint tool in Revit to paint some parts that you do not, to paint out some parts to have different textures or different materials from other parts. I'm basically setting up your building. So thank you so much for having stayed with us this long in this tutorial. I hope you have learned a lot on how to use the model in place to basically Caseworks, the sweep and the extrusion. See you in the next video. Please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to our channel. If you have subscribed, we thank you so much. You can also leave a thumbs up to this video. It helps the video to also get so much more people that will also be needing to also learn Revit as a modeling software. See you in the next video. Thank you so much. Peace.